Good evening. Welcome to the third day's program of this year's Arkay Convention Center programs celebrating Madras Day, Madras Week, Madras Month. As you know, for several years we've been celebrating what Mr. Muttaya, author of Madras discovered, and several articles on Madras, started a tradition celebrating Madras Day as the day the British signed an agreement with the Pundamalli Nayak for starting Fort St. George trading, and from there the city grew. Though the suburbs of the city are much older than that, like Mylapore, Triplicane, and Tiruvannamur and all that. Several places are older. The city, as you know, it started then. And 6-7 years back, Mr. Arkay Ramakrishnan also decided we can celebrate it here. Madhuradhwani shall host a few programs, and I've been hosting several programs since then, three days of 2 talks each. And so we had Justice Prabhasri Devan and Vinita of Krida Games talk on the first day. Then we had Mr. Krishna Kumar and Major Narayanan talk about Unknown Madras and Officers Training Academy respectively the second day. And after about a week today, we have Mr. Mohan Hariharan, the architect, and Pradeep Chakravarti, management consultant, but in his capacity here as a historian, talk about a couple of interesting topics. So without further ado, Mr. Mohan Hariharan, I think more than half the audience here is his fan club, so he needs no introduction to those of you who already know him for decades before I have ever met him. But for the rest of us, he's an extremely accomplished man. He is a graduate of the School of Architecture at the Alagappa Chettiar College, Anna University. That's now today, I think, in part of the Anna University system. He is somebody whose work you have experienced. If you ever seen a movie in Devi Theatre or Ega Theatre or any of the major theatres, or even if not in Madras, his boss, Mr. Srinivasan, was the architect of several cinema theatres all over Tamil Nadu. In fact, our friend Balaji says that for a long time people didn't know what architect meant. If he said somebody says architect, they won't understand. Then he explained, he said, oh, Srinivasan sir, serare adu, okay. So that was the reputation of his boss. And he's still there, I think, Mr. Srinivasan. Mr. Mohan Hariharan is so kind, he arranged a celebratory function for him at one of the institutions that he designed, is Savita. So half my job is made easy because he's going to be talk about some of these things here. So I don't have to tell you the architectural aspects of it, but the other half is easy because to give a proper introduction to him will take longer than his speech. So I can comfortably avoid it. His family is, a very reputable family with a famous writer Charvakan, Padma Shri, his father, his entire family is from a small town called Arani, and he is the most, how shall I put it, greatest Arani enthusiast you can imagine. He has taken people on several trips. He gave a talk about Arani. People may not even know where Arani is, and he has given a full 1.5 hour talk about Arani at a different forum, our Tamil Heritage Trust forum, several years back. So besides being an architect for what is an unusual kind of building, right? Entertainment building. The architecture for it doesn't fit. Most cinema theatres have a different architecture. He's also been an industrial architect for certain companies like Ponds, etc. He's done a very different job as an architect for Savita's Eco Pupil School. It's a very different one. He was very kind to give us a tour of it. And in fact, I should acknowledge him as the reason I'm employed now. I used to be an unemployed person, and he did so much build-up for me, championing me, that Savita College, Dr. Savita and Dr. Rajesh invited me, and I'm now a part-time lecturer at that college. So, sir, thank you for hiring me. So,
one more thing, Calcutta Viswanathan, a great actor, his cousin,
ஓகே யா சார், எங்களுக்கு வந்து கல்கட்டா விஸ்வநாதன் மோகன் ஹரிஹரனுடைய கசின் சார். ஸோ தப்பாக நினச்சிக்காதீங்க. ஓகே, சார்வாகனே இவருடைய அண்ணன் அப்படி தான் சொல்லலாம். இவருடைய சார்வாகன் தம்பின்னு நாங்கள் சொல்ல மாட்டோம், சார்வாகன் இவருடைய அண்ணன் நாங்கள் சொல்லிக்கிறோம். தப்பாக நினச்சிக்க. ஸோ சி, we are now getting crowdsourcing introduction for Mr. Mohan Hariharan. So without much further ado, I don't want to stand. He is the main speaker of the day. I invite him to give a talk. Give his talk. Thank you for.
He has a great sense of humor.
Will, yes, obviously, a very kind person, very generous person with a variety of interests. He writes, he does so many paintings. Last year he had so much beautiful paintings. You have to see it. His house is of very interesting. Like I said, Mr. Mohan Hariharan himself is an institution. We'll give someday in the future we'll give a talk about Mr. Mohan Hariharan. But for now we have the institution talk about other institutions. So.
Not me on an institution. அந்த சவுண்டு அந்த பாட்டை கம்மியாக பண்ணி. Thank you. Hello. Thank you, everybody. Well, I am going to talk about Madras movie halls and architects. I should thank first Madras Musings, Muttaya, V. Sriram, Arkay, Theodore Bhaskaran, Venkatesh Ramakrishnan, and actor Mohan Raman. From there, my source is all from them. And above all, I owe my introduction to Madras was through Abraham Irali, the editor of Aside magazine, and he was a co-tenant in my apartment in early 80s. I used to spend number of evenings with them, and then I learnt about Madras. That is how I started knowing about history of Madras. Well, I should also thank for Chitra Hariharan for editing the whole thing, and slide preparation, and pardon. You kindly find out, madam. Okay. And Mr. Swaminathan and Jitendra helped me in making the slides. You have not asked me who is Jitendra.
I know it.
Anyhow, I am not going to talk about the things in a chronological way. As I remember, as I walk down, I am going to give my experience. That is the way I am going to do it. Well, when I was young, say about 6th, 7th, 8th standard, on a particular day, my mother used to call me saying, "It is your birthday today. You better go to your father and tell him." My father was an allopathic doctor. He was private practicing. And I used to go to the dispensary and tell today is my birthday. He used to say, good. And then he used to give me 2 1-rupee notes and then spend it wisely. You check with your mother. Don't squander your money, waste money on a rubbish, stupid movie. And I used to faithfully go to a matinee show and then come home like a nice good boy. நல்ல பையன் மாதிரி வீட்டுக்கு வந்துடுவேன். That habit of going to movie theatres from the 6th standard lasted till 60th year of my career. அப்புறமா I started reducing to going to the movie theatres. That was my introduction to movies. And those days, I distinctly remember my school sponsored 2 movies. One is called Yuki Warisu. I do not know, there's a Japanese movie. And the second one was the 10 Commandments. Those 2 were sponsored by the school. They used to take us there. And 10 Commandments was directed by Cecil B. DeMille. I never ever imagined that one day I will be designing or closely associated with designing about more than 2 dozen movie theatre halls.
என்ன வினோதம் பாரு, எவ்வளவு சோக்கு பாரு, நம்ம பொன்னான தலைவர்கள் போட்டோ படத்தை பாரு. தன்னானே 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 தான தன்னா தன்னானே. தாங்கமுடனே நம்ம தாய்நாட்டை வாங்கி தந்த காந்தி மகானை பாரு, கஸ்தூரி பாய பாரு, நேர்மை தவறாத நெருங்கியை பாரு, நெஞ்சில் ஊர மிகுந்த நேதாஜி பாரு.
Most of you would not have heard this song. This was by comedian K. Sarangabani in a movie called Ponvayal. Why I have put this is, you can see those two slides in which they show, it's called bioscope. Mostly they used to have it in village fairs. This is how I started my career of seeing movies. That song is a very nice song. He would show all the movies, theatre, actors, others, everything. கொஞ்சம் இதை இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ணுங்க, கொஞ்சம் சத்தமே கேட்கல.
நம்ம ராஜாஜி தான் பாருங்க, ராஜரிஷி ராஜாஜி தான் பாருங்க, அப்படி தன்னானே தன்னானே தன்னா.
When I was young, I used to go to so-called kotai. Kotai is a Tara ticket kotai. You can see Tara ticket is literally a sand cushion. You can't sit for 3 hours in a hard ground. So they nicely had Tara, and there are a lot of advantages. One is you can, if you don't like the movie, you can sleep there. Spread your towel and then sleep there. Normally people used to reserve the place in front of them for 1 foot by spitting, so that others would not sit in front, hide the view. There is no problem for air movement because sides are all open. And this tent kotai became a Tagara kotai there. In the light, in the light, you can switch off this light. So the tent kotai became a Tagara kotai, and Tagara kotai became a semi-permanent theatre, and then subsequently it became a permanent theatre. This Tagara kotai, I like to go to Tagara kotai in our town because whenever the rain starts, you will hear a rhythmic raindrops along with the music of the movies. I like raindrops keep falling on my head. That was the way in which I started enjoying Tagara kotai. Tagara kotai is a bench area, is this one, and then subsequently you can see there's a typical projector there. The projector room, you don't know whether you can see, there's a slight raised platform. This was the original setup. There is another important activity in a movie theatre. Other than seeing a movie, there are a lot of moving snack bars used to come. People always walk around saying, tea pal kape, soda kalre, in various tones they will used to say. Then patani sundal, kamarkat is also one. I started using kamarkat from those days. If you want to go for a leak or for a smoke, you always go out and reach a tea stall, and from there to go to a toilet block, which whether with a roof or without a roof, it is extremely difficult for you to wade through the men sitting and standing doing their business. The whole area is to stink like that. Then subsequently, it all went into my mind also, how far when we design, these things can be avoided. Well, sometimes I have even seen people walking through the heads of the others, standing in a queue. Yeah, in a narrow lane, they used to have it. That was a problem. The minute you enter the theatre, you scramble for a seat where there's a fan. That is a very, very important point. Anyhow, everything started with Terukuthu. Terukuthu is a basic of EL, Isai, Nadagam, all put together. He knows much better than anybody else. He has made your documentary also in Terukuthu and others. And with mainly Mahabharatam and other kadaigalallam irukum, like Panjali Sabadam or Kichakavadam, like that. those Puranic dramas developed afterwards. For example, Nawab Rajamanikam Pillai is the one who created a cult for Ayyappan in Tamil Nadu. And subsequently, the level of drama level is increased by R.S. Manohar, who made magical shows in a drama. Then it started using social themes like Sambandham Maliyar, Pammal Sambandham Maliyar, T.K. Shanmugam, Sahasranamam, and quite a lot of others. That the development of drama halls led finally to Ottravada Theatre in Chennai. Well, so when movies started coming in, the talkie, the silent movie became a talkie. It has improved the structure of movie theatres. Next. Well, the year 1960, I joined AC College of Technology in next to Engineering College. I was a hostelite, and my hostel was well behind the northern side, adjacent to Kotur. Then Koturupuram was not there. We used to take, not hire, take from our friends cycles and then go at the very end of the road to Adayar River and then cross the river by ferries, paying 4 annas to reach YMCA grounds, and from there we take off to different places. Mainly used to go to, first thing is a theatre called Noor Jahan in Saidapet. When we go to Noor Jahan, we also carry matchbox, not for any smoke or anything, but for you to burst the bugs on the hands, seat handles and on the seats. After a few yards away, there was another movie theatre called Jairaj. Jairaj Theatre was a clean theatre, small theatre. The owner was one Mr. Jairaj, brother of M.R. Pratap, director of Rayala Corporation. Rayala Corporation building was next to Arts College in Mount Road. He was also a director for Halda Facet Asia. It so happened at a later date we designed his house also. Beyond that point, on the border of Mambalam and Saidapet, there was a theatre called Srinivasa. But Srinivasa theatre, all these theatres had typical Art Deco style. And this Srinivasa theatre was owned by one Dr. N. Devanathan. He owned another theatre called Venkateswara in Thiruvatiyur, and later he constructed the first drive-in theatre in Injambakam. I will talk about him later if the time permits, because I had associated with him, even though he's not fully associated, but I will talk to you about it. From there, when you come to from Saidapet, we used to go on a Mount Road, passing through several cinema theatres like Globe, which was called New Globe, and then Plaza, and then at the junction of General Patter's Road and Mount Road, there was Wellington. Wellington Theatre was one of the old typical Art Deco cinema, where I had seen several Gemini movies. And it was the owner of that is, you can see, there's a Noor Jahan, is a Srinivasa Theatre, and Wellington then, and Wellington Plaza, it has gone away. All old things have got to be go. Okay, then next one. Further down, we used to go on the Mount Road, go past an electric theatre. Have you heard of an electric theatre? Well, we never knew that there was an electric theatre existing inside Mount Road Post Office. It's being used as a literally a museum right now. That is one of the oldest buildings surviving now. We never had any idea about it. Go past there, there was a Bata showroom. you turn the Dams Road, the first building is Casino Theatre. The typical Art Deco again. And next to Casino, there was Gaiety Theatre. Gaiety Theatre was earlier done. Casino was much later. But Casino was the owner of the Casino Theatre was one J.H. Irani, and his younger brother was a civil engineer who constructed this theatre. We used to go to the theatre because there are a lot of English movies. And the speciality of this movie theatre, it has got a boat-shaped flooring. It's unlike other floors. It's not a gallery type, but a boat shape which involves some science behind it, which I am not going to explain it. And subsequently, next one is a Gaiety Theatre. This is the first movie theatre perhaps in Chennai. This was owned by Raghupati Venkaiah Naidu. He also constructed two more theatres. One is a Crown, other one is it is called Globe, but subsequently named as Roxy Theatre in Purushavakam. He was one of the pioneers in movie theatres. Next to him is Samikannu Vincent. He was also one of the earlier pioneers, but he started his life in Coimbatore, the first movie theatre constructed in Coimbatore. I forgot to tell you about. Then on the afterwards you go and reach New Elephants and Theatre. The New Elephants and Theatre is New Elephants and Theatre was just opposite to Madras Roundtana. The Roundtana, Mount Road Roundtana, where now C.N. Annadure stands there, showing that theatre, if you have noticed. But the place where he is standing, there was originally a toilet there. They're not like a typical toilet, is in obstruction to our ugly theatre toilets which have been made to show. There we had very utility toilet, but was not visually seen. They have put it underground. That is opposite to that is a New Elephants and Theatre. Is a neat, clean theatre. It is something like a PR and Sons, Hindu, all the same type of architecture. I don't know who is the architect, but the attraction was much more than that. There was a Jaffar's ice cream. This is the first time I used to go. I sat on a high stool in front of a snack bar counter ordering 104 peach malwa. That was the first time I enjoyed my peach malwa. Every time on the pretext of going to the theatre, I used to go and enjoy it. Next slide. Well, normally we don't go beyond Mount Road. From the student days, we don't cycle around all the way. So, but I have gone to this so-called Bacha. This is originally called Minerva. Now it is called Minerva. Now it's called Bacha. The Minerva Theatre was one of the nice mini theatres situated on top of a godown on a first floor. They used to have a side veranda, open terrace. You used to see greeneries. It was a very interesting, pleasant place for us. They were showing only movie theatres. I remember to have seen one important movie called Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock. Without understanding that movie, I came away. It took long time for me to understand the ending of this movie. That's why I still remember. Next to that is Agastya Theatre. You know why I have put Agastya Theatre? It is in Tondiarpet. I have no connection with this. At least here, wherever I have some connection, I have put it. There, Agastya Theatre, I have never been there, but excepting once I have seen it. This is totally a different type of architecture, unlike this typical Art Deco. And moreover, this was a theatre owned by Devi Theatre before constructing Devi Theatre. That's the reason I put it, because I am closely associated with Devi Theatre. Then come back. On the Walaja Road, there are quite a number of movies, Tamil movie halls, including Kalaivanar Arangam and Children's Theatre. But I remember more there was a canteen very close. There was a canteen very close to that. It's called Annapurna, where they used to serve excellent brinji rice. That way I remember. Okay, now next one is you come back to Mount Road, and then on the General Patter's Road, there is Jayaprada and Raj. It's now originally called Midland and Leo. why I have put it again is this Raj is a brother of Jayaprada with whom I had some business negotiation, not because of, not in the cinema theatre, but on behalf of my client Raja Venkatagiri. Unfortunately, that fell through, but he took over Inland and changed the name to Jayaprada and Raj. Subsequently, further down if you go, there is a theatre called Odeon. The Odeon was again bought by a gentleman who was known to me. He is one Mr. Syed Abbas. He was a snack bar contractor for Devi and Satyam. He earned so much of money, many owners used to complain, that this man is earning more than us. And subsequently he bought the theatre Odeon and renovated it and named it as Melody. I have a good relationship with him, mainly because I had an office in Satyam Theatre, first floor, and his room, he was a snack bar contractor, his next door he had his store room, stock room, and his office. He used to serve hot cakes on Wednesdays. I used to wait for it. He used to always supply free. Well, next one. I was the one who introduced him. Huh?
Star. You missed the Star.
Star. Okay. Star is an important theatre on the Triplicane High Road. That's where I first saw a large partition between men and women. Women usually had burqa clad Muslim ladies. More than Star Theatre, I used to go past and then go to Ratna Cafe. There, the idlis, sambar idli was so famous. The best part of it, it was made by a North Indian Rajasthani family. A Gupta family used to make idli sambar so well. Okay. Even now they have branches. Well, this is Mr. Umapati of Anand Theatre. I don't have a clear picture of Anand Theatre, so I have put him there mainly because he is one who constructed Shanti Theatre, which came in 1961, the first large theatre constructed by him. The typical, you can't say what type is that. Mr. Umapati is a very interesting personality. He used to call me Kannu. And when we did Devi Theatre, he came and appreciated everybody and then saying, சீனிவாசன் என்ன இப்படி பண்ணிட்டீங்களே, எங்கள் தியேட்டர்லாம் என்னத்துக்கு ஆகுறது, நாங்கள்லாம் இப்போ வந்து எல்லாத்தையும் அப்கிரேட் பண்ணுமே அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் பண்ணின்னு கண்டினியூஸ்லி ஆஃப்டர்வர்ட்ஸ் யூ வாண்டட் டு புட் லிட்டில் ஆனந்த். தென் அது ஆன்ட்ரி ஜாப்னால என்னுடைய பாஸ் என்னை விட்டுட்டார். ஸோ ஐ வாஸ் ஆல் த டைம் டீலிங் வித் ஹிம். யூஸ் டு சே, சார் இடம் இல்லை, ரொம்ப நேரம், இது 15 அடி 18 அடி இருக்குன்னா அது பயப்படாத தம்பி, அதை போடு, கொஞ்சம் நான் 2-3 அடி திருடிக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவார். That is how he is a very dominating personality. He was a disciple, he was a devotee of Sivanyanam, Mapo Sivanyanam and Kamaraj. He has also acted in one of the movies called Mohan Hariharan. Well, yeah? Agni Natchathiram, okay, sorry. Next, coming to that, is a Jayanti Theatre very close to on the LB Road. LB Road is Lattice Bridge Road. We used to frequent this theatre mainly because there is a 2-in-1. If you buy one ticket, you can see 2 movies in the night show. One Tamil and English. அதுக்காகவே நாங்கள் எல்லாரும் போவோம். அது வந்து தமிழில் பேர் இருக்கும், உதய உலக ஜோதி உதய மாஸ்டரின் மகன் அப்படின்னா அது வந்து ஸ்பைஸ் மேஷர்ஸ் சன். அது வந்து 2 சினிமா பார்த்துட்டு தாராளமாக வரும். On the way போகிறதுக்கு வழியில் there was a theatre called Eras Theatre. That used to be nice. Now that has gone. Now there's a showroom that has also gone. I do not know. Well, Kamadevanu Theatre I am just passing on because I have not been there. In next one. Well, let me introduce the important architects of Madras. In the Madras architects வந்து மெட்ராஸ் ஆர்கிடெக்ட்ஸ் இவங்களை வந்து நான் இப்போ சொல்கிறது மும்மூர்த்திகள். இந்த மும்மூர்த்திகள் இந்த 3ல் வந்து ஃபஸ்ட் வந்து மிஸ்டர் லக்ஷ்மண் மாதவ் சிட்டாலே. He formed an important company called LM Chitale and Sons. He has done quite a lot of educational institutions like CLRA, Engineering College, Pachipas College, and Annamalai University, many buildings. He has done a he has done a what do you call that, in Andhra University, where President Radhakrishnan wanted his house also to be done. Girija was designed by him. Next one is S.L. Chetale. He was awarded Padma Shri also, where Lakshman Chitale, L.M. Chitale, he was also an educator and he has done quite a lot of work during Second World War. He has made camouflage officer. The third one is S.L. Chitale. He has not done any auditoriums in Madras. Next one is L.M. Chitale. He has done a movie theatre, not a movie, standalone movie theatre, excepting one called Lido in Bangalore, but nothing in Madras. But he has done an excellent hyperbolic paraboloid auditorium in Tirupati Devasthanam. Then other one is his wife Sushila. Other one is Kapil Dev, who is right now doing. Next one is the important architectural firm is Prynne Abbott and Davis, where Prynne has never come into contact here. Well, Abbott died in a crash, in an air crash, and Davis was the one who is actively working. And subsequently, Mr. Peterson and Pithavadian joined there. You see, the first theatre, first man was Pithavadian, and then next one is Davis, and then Jawaharlal Nehru and Radhakrishnan. It was University Building Foundation Day. The next one is showing Pithavadian. Pithavadian is a very dynamic personality, and he was visiting professor when I was doing my fourth year. You can see that is Pithavadian, and can you guess this guy? That's me when I was doing my final year. Yeah, I did my final year course of architecture. This is Mr. Pithavadian. Used to come to the class with a pipe only. He is such an advanced person. He was basically an engineer, but subsequently he studied architecture in Megal University. They have also done quite a lot of huge townships. Important building is IOB and Oxford University Press in Mount Road, but they have not done any standalone commercial movie theatre in Madras. Okay, next. Sapphire is not done by them. And L.M. Chitale was the resident architect for LIC. Yeah. This is famous C.R. Narayan Rao and Sons. He was from Coimbatore. The minute you say CRN, they will all say it's a heavy industrial buildings architect. Only after his son C.R. Srinivasan, an architect, Raghavendran took over. They are all well known. They have done a lot of buildings, including Nehru Stadium and famous Tidal Park and a lot of IT buildings. But I have not heard of them doing standalone commercial movie theatre in Chennai. Music Academy is not very done. I will tell you who has done. P.S. Govindarao is more of an artist, an architect who did a lot of theatres, not much in Chennai, but outside, not in Madras, but in Cochin and other places. Perhaps he is the only one who has got a statue. It was opened by his client, Pratap. He has done Apollo Hospital, Savera and others. The third one is... Pardon?
Where is the statue?
Is in his Poise Garden house. That Shanai Nagar Theatre, Cochin, is one of the important points. He has totally broke away the traditional style and then a very flashy way he used to design. Next, please. I think I'm overshooting my time. Is it 6:30?
No problem. Please carry on.
This is not a movie theatre. This is what I have shown you is a University Centenary Auditorium, perhaps the largest auditorium, but 3,500 people can sit. This was designed by an architect called Sharma, R.R. Sharma. He has not done any movie theatre in Madras, standalone theatre is not done. But he was an Asthana architect for TVS Group. But the most important thing is, Sharma is the brother of actor Ranjan. Actor Ranjan is my favorite, one of the handsome hero. He used to do fencing, sword fighting in both the hands. He has he's a Sakalakala Vallavan. He knows so many things, including dance, music, etc. The next one is not in Chennai, but in Pondicherry, Auroville. I have put him mainly because he is a very innovative architect who won a competition, and Holy Mother took this as a building. It is called Bharat Nivas in Auroville. He is Mr. Chakrabani. Unfortunately, he didn't develop his office. This one is a Madras Music Academy, what you was asking. This is also not an auditorium, but was designed by Bhuta. That is, Bhuta was a partner of Master Sate in Bhuta of Bombay. He was asked to design a mic-less auditorium for a short. So you will see a huge hangover balcony very close to the stage, but unfortunately, mic-less became, it did not work out. So they had to convert to a mic full, and then it was renovated later. That is his architectural drawing. He was a great disciple of Le Corbusier. That Bhutas. And then this is how finally it has come. After P.T. Krishnan's renovation is how they made it. Okay, next one. Sapphire. All these days things were different. They are the one brought in a revolutionary theatre concept. Vacancy Theatres, Jewelers, brought in a new concept of providing a large theatre with two mini theatres. And Sapphire Theatre is one of the important building construction-wise because it is totally on steel pillars. Unlike other buildings, it is totally on a steel pillar. And then they also are the pioneers in starting seaside resorts. Silver Sand was started by them. And there used to be a manager called Apunni. We used to enjoy his hospitality because my brother was a surgeon who did operated on. They were very happy. So they used to give us royal treatment whenever we go there. So I enjoyed Apunni's hospitality. Well, that was one which is the projection level. And here the first movie, I have enjoyed a lot of movies like Cleopatra, Sound of Music, and so on. My Fair Lady, that's not an important one. So that is a side view. The other important thing is it had a continuous show in the theatre which was frequented by the nearby college students, and then the couple used to enjoy. Even morning and till evening they used to sit and enjoy. And then there was a disco at the basement and a restaurant at the basement also. Go ahead.
Who's the architect for Sapphire?
Sapphire, we do not know. They are brought in from Bombay, but I can't find out. If you find out, please tell me. No. This is one of the important theatres after Sapphire because this is the first Cinema theatre. Cinema is the one where they have three projectors synchronized together. Unfortunately, it failed. They could not synchronize properly with the three. You can see these three projectors putting one, but they couldn't synchronize it. Universally, it failed. But the architect for this is Mr. F.R. Fernando. S.R. Fernando is a product of Pitavadian partners. That is Prinabad and Davis, like many other architects, Achyut, Archandar, Radhe Mohan, and so on. His other building was Satyamurthy Bhavan for Congress building. Other than that, I don't think he has done any movie theatres, standalone movie theatres in Madras. Next one, please. Well, as movie theatres under architect K. N. Srinivasan, I actively associated with this, partially did all these things, including Kalayonar, Kalayarangam, Devi, Satyam, Iga, Abhirami. Woodlands, Kalavaranga,
Read from
Trichy,
the
Maris.
mic, people know.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Hello? Well,
Please read the names.
yeah, Devi Theatre Complex, Satyam Theatre Complex, Ega Theatre, Abhirami Theatre, Woodlands Theatre, Kalaingar Karunanidhi Kalayarangam in Trichy, Maris Multiplex, Ragam Thanam Pallavi at Kovai. That was perhaps the last large movie theatre complex we did. And SL Theatre in Trivandrum and Jagadamba in Vizag. It was done in the 80s. These are the other theatres which I am partially involved. Sangam Theatre in Bangalore, Santosh Theatre in Bangalore, Nartaki Bangalore, Galaxy Bangalore, Blue Diamond in Bangalore, and Sangam Theatre in Mysore, and Udayam Theatre in Chennai, Naradagan Sabha in Chennai, Kamaraj Kalayarangam, Chennai, and Apsara in Cork. Out of which there are for two chief ministers we did. One is Kalaingar Karunanidhi Kalayarangam and Kamaraj. But Kamaraj Kalayarangam, I was not there fully. At the end of it, in 83, I came out of K.N. Srinivasan. But earliest time, we used to go and discuss with C. Subramaniam at his house in Koturpuram. We used to go there. There were quite a number of committee members were there, like Rajam Ramaswamy, Pattabhiraman and others. Okay, next one. The buildings during my independent practice. Why I am putting this, I have totally cut off from my original cinema theatres, switched over to practice, excepting one theatre, MC Theatre in Arani, because it was my own native place. He requested me to do it. Rest of the thing, if you see factories for Ponds India, in Pondicherry, I was Asthana architect for Ponds India. I have done about 10-12 factories for them. And factories for Hindustan Liver, also I have done half a dozen. And then factories for Hindustan Motors in Pondi, Chennai. Again, residential buildings for a lot of dignitaries, including Mr. T.T. Vasu, his house in Cathedral Road. And other people like President, founder of Savita University, Dr. Veerayan, and others. Factories for Goodless Nerolac, again I was an Asthana architect for them. Factories for Arjun Chemicals, again I did. Each one is at least about 15-12 years I have done for them. And then many pharma factories like Madras Pharma in Chennai and Pondicherry, they are all USFD certified. So it has got to be extremely careful in designing. Then presently engaged in institutional buildings for Savita, especially the one which revived my relationship with them was the People's School. The proposal, as soon as I came out, for 3 reasons I did not do movie theatres. One is, all movie theatres, they had no discipline in time, finance and budget. It was very difficult for me to. I learnt a lot of things from K.N. Srinivasan, and I also unlearnt several things. So, out of which I said I will not go in for movie theatres. So, but anyhow, those who came to me, I did. But nothing came out. One is cinema complex for Kanagadara Private Limited, which is next to Kanchi. He was the owner of Sri Lanka Hotel next to Devi. He was one Mr. MP Narayanan, a scrap merchant. And then he told me his architect was another gentleman who was doing his hotel, but being a theatre man, he gave the work on a condition that I will not ask fees till it was approved in CMDA. And subsequently CMDA rejected it on various reasons. The problem is, I told him how to approach the CMDA people, but he said on a prestige, I know the minister, I can get it. And then finally he could not get it, dropped, I did not get a pie. But whenever I used to go and sit in front of him, he used to bring me a glass of coconut water. That was the only thing. And Nanda Theatre in Mandya, I did, nothing came out. And 4 on theatre complex is an excellent design by me in Madurai, but it did not come through. Okay, next please. This was the first theatre done by K.N. Srinivasan. It was in the year 1966. I joined in 1965. This in Tank Bund Road in Bangalore, in the Majestic. This is not there now. It was one for R.N. Mandre of Mandre Films. It was a great success. After this, there is no turning back on the movie theatres. Okay, next one. Now, before you go, I will tell you something about K.N. Srinivasan. His father was one Narasimha Iyengar, Kadapa Narasimha Iyengar from Mysore. He was an IAS officer and gazetted PA for Jayachamraj Wadiyar. And he did his engineering course in Bangalore, subsequently joined an architect's office in Bombay, Bajpai, Razdan and Patki, and then came back and started his practice in Tambuchetti Street. Subsequently then shifted his office to Cathedral Road, just opposite to Stella Base College. That's where I joined. That was an interesting place too. I would call him a revolutionary architect for several reasons, mainly because he is the one who cared for common people. We have formulated after a lot of research, we formulated grammar for what theatre should be done, complying with Cinematography Act. Cinematography Act 1955 stipulates a lot of rules. Even the size of the exit size has been mentioned there, leave alone other things. We had encountered a lot of problems with them. But we formulated, giving that most important thing is distance should pay, not the class. In a cinema theatre, the farther away from the screen, you have got to pay more. In a drama theatre, closer the one, you have got to pay more. Because the one is in a human scale, other one is more than a huge non-human scale. In fact, I would say he deserved a Padma Shri award. Unfortunately, professional jealousy was so high, he has been never recognized by the architect bodies. My understanding with Savita was very good, and persuaded them that he should be given some award. Then finally they gave award as Lifetime Achievement Award. Then I wrote to Architects Institute. Then finally they agreed to give him. That was how it is. Unfortunately, when he was not able to walk, not able to do things, it was given to him. If it is given over 15 years back, it would have been better. Anyhow, that was it. Well, slide number 13, the next one. I don't see anywhere. Right. This was the most important movie theatre. I would say I always join when I say we. I always tag along with K.N. Srinivasan. Is it time now? I will have to hurry up. Anyhow, it was a unique theatre. There's a story behind it. When the theatre owners were T&K House, there are 4 or 5 Chettiars. When they were in the movie business, Devi Theatre, Devi Films, they made a movie called Konjum Salangai. They wanted to put up that in a Mount Road Theatre, and then they tried Shanti, they could not get, he was rejected. So they, like a cinema style, they took a vow. We are going to construct very close to you, much larger than that, and then they did it. They did it. There's the first time in Southeast Asia, 2 large theatres accommodating 1,000 and 1,200, one above another without any column in between. That is a structural marvel then. Anyhow, that's Mr. K.N. Srinivasan. I am standing in front of him. On 2020 May month, there was a call, somebody knocked at my door and then brought a சில்வர் பிளேட் கையில் பழம் பால் ஒரு சால்வை எல்லாம் எடுத்துகிட்டு வந்தாங்க. இது தேவி தியேட்டர்லேருந்து இது 50th year, so we want to honor you, and then gave a medal also. Then I took them to K.N. Srinivasan also. They remembered me after 50 years. That was the greatest thing. K.N. Srinivasan Lifetime Award. This is where K.N. Srinivasan, that's me. Those days we never used to take photograph. That was a movie interior as a ramp. This ramp is played an important point. You got to take about 1,000 people up and then bring down. How do you do it? Without lifts will not work. So K.N. Srinivasan was inspired by Guggenheim Museum in New York, where they had to walk along a ramp and then reach a place. When he came back, and then he said, why not we, when you take upper theatre, one about the each 42 feet height, it's totally 82 feet, why not we take a ramp, make people easy to walk up and down. That was a great success. Then next one, please. This was how 1970 appeared. Now to 2021, there are some things have gone. This cladding of glass, Srinivasan insisted because he wanted the entire surrounding to be reflected there. But somehow it fell off. Well, this is how it appeared on the 51st. T&K house was originally, in 5 minutes, was Devi Theatre. There is opening inauguration 70. This was where K.N. Srinivasan, you can see. The most important project executive was Mr. Varadarajan, who is still there. He's 83 years old. Next one, please. This is Mr. Varadarajan, executive. This was inaugurated by Kalaignar, and this is Neduncheriyan. Then subsequently you can see Kalaignar, this is Umapati, and then Nanjappa Chettiar, and that is, and you can see K.N. Srinivasan standing there. Again here, this is Mr. K.N. Srinivasan, this is Rajagopal Chettiar, Kalaignar, this is Nanjappa Chettiar, who taught me a lot of things about Manasastram, and then how to do floor slopes, etc. This is where on the 50th year they came home and then honored me. Next one, please. This is a simple hand sketch. I have lost so many things. This is one theatre, another above theatre with a ramp here, and the central there is a fountain with a totem pole, lodged totem pole, which is sketched by me specifically, and then sculptured by Chettinad architect. This is a cross section showing Devi Bala. It was originally designed for a restaurant, subsequently made, and then Devi Paradise. You can see this is 74 feet, sitting precast, pre-stressed beam for the first time employed in Southeast Asia for a theatre. Please go ahead. Well, the theatre's owners, the Devi Films owner, now it is dissolved, they had also Devi Polymer, Devi Cine Projectors. T&K was partnered by Kannada speaking Salem Beri Chettiars. I am including all Jadis, because it was not an offense those days when you talk about Jadi. So I am including to know how the cosmopolitan life was there. The project conceived and designed by K.N. Srinivasan, Kannada, Tamil speaking, Ebbar Iyengar. And project architect was Hariharan, is a Pakka Pacha Tamilan. The perspective drawing, which you saw in the beginning, was done by Donald Gordon, is an Anglo-Indian. He has migrated to Australia. Construction team was ECC, and the managing director Martinson was a Swedish guy. Structural engineer was by Ramakrishna, he is from Andhra Pradesh. The project engineer was Mr. Preetham Singh, the Sardaji, and a Pakistani refugee. And he has studied SSLC. The site supervisor was Dinakaran, Tamil Devar community. Masons were veneers and scheduled caste people from Salem. Steel fabricators were Kerala Mapla Muslims. Crane operator was one D'Souza Govanese. Next one, please. The acoustic consultant, one Barjur Misri, a Parsi gentleman, from whom I learnt a lot of things. The only Devi Theatre he did. Subsequently, we did ourselves. All the acoustics was done by us. Interior work was done Carpenter, Annamalai and Ramaratnam. They are Chettinad Vishwakarma community. Snack bar contractor was Mr. Abbas, I told you, Urdu speaking Muslim from Karnataka. Air conditioning was by American refrigeration company. Sanitary contractor was King and Company. Elevators was Ivan Slip, Western Company. Marble work was Abu Marble, mining industry. Building inaugurated by a Dravidian Chief Minister Karunanidhi. Yeah, is it not a symbol of national integration? The next one, please. This is to show, this is K.N. Srinivasan, when he was abroad, he sent a letter to the site engineer, prospective site engineer, saying, please show this letter to Hariharan, who will give you instructions. I am showing this because of his nice handwriting. Second thing is, pay 250 rupees per month for the site engineer, and my name is also mentioned. That is the relationship we had. This was Satyam Theatre. This is for the Satyam Theatre. We have streamlined the elevation. It became. Since I don't have time, I am skipping all those things. The Raja Venkatagiri was a devotee of Puttaparthi. They originally wanted Satyam Sivam Sundaram. He refused, saying, better make it Sri Satyam Santam Subham. And this is the important theatre for us. It is most satisfying. I was very much involved with a Japanese garden inside and a beautiful ramp upstairs. There is a smaller theatre. This is how it appeared. And this was Raja Venkatagiri's younger brother. He was one signed all the drawings. There is a symbol. Next one. You have 2 minutes. This is a snack bar area in Satyam. This was done by artist Vasudev. This is a 30 feet high or 15 feet high enamel painting. He is a very famous artist. This is a site engineer, Mr. Ram Gopal. He became a big consultant now. This is how now appears from what it was there. The interior, we had a beautiful balcony from where you can see the downstairs. Next one, please. Well, I think with that I will conclude. This is Iga Theatre owner. Next one, just show the. This was Woodlands Theatre, interior, and then I was associated. Again, one more. This is Kamaraj Memorial, Arangam. They said it has got to be a simple one for a great simple. That was Naradagana Sabha. There is Udayam Theatre Complex. There is Anna Theatre, I forgot to show you. The owner is one Suleiman. Next one. This I was associated, I wanted to tell, but unfortunately I don't have time. I was involved in making this slope. There's a first drive-in theatre. Next one, please. Yeah, this I don't think you can skip. Well, all glory to my Guru. Thank you all. Before dispersing, I wanted to, being a very patient one, I want to tell you a Mokkai joke. Without a joke, how can you go? Whenever you talk, you always try to introduce Tirukural, Purananuru, or Agananuru. But I was trying to find how to connect cinema theatre with this. Then I googled, I found Satyam Cinema, Sangam Cinema. All tickets are booked for this evening. I somehow able to connect Sangam with cinema. With that, I take leave of you.
Any questions you have, we will answer for
Huh?
any questions.
Any? Would you like to clarify, because a lot of things, please?
I want to know what was the theatres which British used.
British use.
Oh yeah.
There are a lot of things.
Particularly any
Each one has
theatre.
got a history by itself. You may come to me separately, because each one will take about 10 minutes for the problems with this.
You want to talk about the Arni Theatre which you have
No,
done yourself?
no, I'm saying Madras Theatre.
Oh.
That's why I have not talked about Coimbatore Theatre, Trichy theatres. I have not done. Only Madras, connected to Madras. Anyone else? If you have anything, you can always talk to me over phone. என்ன சார்
Small present. The light போட்டு
லைட் தேங்க்யூ சார்.
Excellent, sir.
நாங்கள் தான் சார் உங்களுக்கு தேங்க் பண்ணி
என்ன
கொடுக்குறோம்.
பிரமாதமா கொடுத்துட்டு எவ்வளவு பாருங்க. You have taken us through from 1950s onwards. What happened in Madras?
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. There are a lot more. Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
There are a lot more to talk, but having given me an opportunity, I must say
No, we will continue next year. There is no problem. We'll do it next day. Well done.
thank you.
Take a 5-minute break.
Yeah, we will immediately start the next one. So, you will get ready and we'll start.
ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್